I came here because I heard that Saddleback had a really good film program. It wasn't until like a year later where I actually took a production class, and when I did, I knew that like this was the place that I was meant to go. It was such a tough class, and our teacher basically taught the class as a way to make us employable. It wasn't about just teaching you a little bit about film. It was to make sure that we were the best film makers that we could be.
This program has taught me not to limit myself, so I do want to become a director. I do want to become a writer and write like scripts for TV shows that I can express my comedy through. Here, you can just start making things, and I think that's really important.
Welcome to the LoFI Media Arts Festival. The Ladies of Film Industry was established in 2019 in response to a need for women filmmakers at Saddleback College's Cinema, TV, Radio department to join together, collaborate, and bring their unique vision and stories to the screen. LoFI celebrates character-driven stories that take the audience to different landscapes, and stories shown from a woman's perspective and an LGBTQ perspective. Now we are having our first festival. We want to thank Saddleback College, the Fine Arts and Media Technology Division, the faculty and staff of the Cinema, Television, and Radio Department, ASG, Associated Student Government, and Panavision for their support. And a special thank you to LoFi Awards coordinator, Rima Panina. LoFi has about 30 members, monthly meetings, a website, a networking list, and a YouTube channel. Our mission overall is about creating an equal and harmonious environment among all hardworking film students on campus. We encourage the women within the film program to reach for those higher key roles like directing and cinematography, as well as encouraging their male counterparts to show support for their female colleagues. Our meetings are mainly about sharing our experience in the film program, addressing the good and the bad experiences, and trying to find productive solutions to challenges on set. LoFi is really a support group to help the women in the program feel more comfortable and confident in honing their craft within the program, and we welcome all artists who want the same. For more information, go to our website, www.saddlebackfilmlofi.com and www.saddlebackctvr.com, and join us in our quest to honor diversity and inclusion. Our event was inspired by the Oscar ceremony. One of our alumni, Reka Zetapshi, who took film study classes at IVC and film production classes at Saddleback from 2012 to 2014, went on to USC and then won a 2019 Oscar for Best Documentary Short. Period. End of sentence. We were trying to figure out how we could turn an Oscar award into a LoFi award, and here we have it. Stars. Let's take a look at some of our other trailblazing alumni as they share what inspired them to tell their story and as they give advice to women filmmakers starting out.
So my inspiration, originally was the idea of a character being in a room with a dead body. And how that interaction would go, whether there would be a connection or not, and sort of building this story around that. But obviously, it's also about, loneliness and the longing for connection. So, yeah.
Honestly, I think just a curiosity for just about everything. When I was in college, I couldn't really decide what I wanted to do, and everything and everybody interested me. And then I realized, well, storytelling, you get to experience everything with everybody. So it's kind of the best that I could do with my life, I thought.
I was thinking kind of about like my inner self as like a teenage girl. There was a lot of drama to that film, not any that I've experienced, but some that I felt was relatable for someone in one way or another. So I was kind of inspired by that teenage female experience.
And this was the first short film I produced, and I was very passionate about it. And it's a topic about, and we know abuse can happen in all sorts of situations, but specifically to this story, this was within a family, and it was the daughter was being abused by her father. And I just, I liked that it was from the daughter's point of view. And I felt honored to be able to be a part of something, that I cared about. So
I was a theater actress. And then later on, I came to Saddleback and took acting film classes that I fall in love with. However, I felt that was missing something. So I started taking classes to film production, and I fall in love with that too. And exactly, telling stories and putting your ideas alive in a screen is something that you cannot experience anywhere else.
I would say if you're anything like me and you have to feel like you can do something before you can be confident to say you can do it, I'd say don't wait for perfection. And the trick is to just work. And that's what everybody is doing. They're just trying, and that's it. That's the big secret. You don't have to wait for permission, and you don't have to wait to feel like you're good enough.
Don't give up. Anything in life you want to do it, like she said, just do it. Just go for it.
Everything you're feeling, those very, very strong feelings, you know, feeling like you want to cry sometimes, feeling so strongly about your own ideas, your own stories, and sometimes that being invalidated by people and people not understanding that, like, it's okay to feel that way.
Just, you know, give it your all. Like, don't hold back. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Yeah, just try it out.
Something that I don't think a lot of people capitalize on or make the most of as a student, or maybe aren't even aware that they can do this, especially when you're a student, you have a special opportunity and more access to people in the industry and professionals who you might look up to, and you might be surprised who would be willing to talk to you because they might want to help a student.
Script I was talking about, I'm a Gentleman, I just found out like yesterday. I submitted it to a bunch of different screenplay competitions, and it got a finalist award at the Atlanta Film Festival in their screenplay competition.
Oh, that's so exciting. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Very excited about the current project I'm producing. It's called Phoenix, and it's the first streaming series project that I've been a part of. And it was very interesting. I didn't know that I would be asked to be a part of this project, you know, during a pandemic. Like a lot of people, I was locked down and staying that way and not working. And then I thought, oh, this is too exciting to pass up. And so I had to learn a lot, like a lot of people, how sets have changed now with COVID, all the protocols, all the things with the union and SAG, how do you get approved in this environment? And it's very different than before, at least it was last fall. That's when we filmed, and now we're in post-production.
I'm working on my special ed teaching credential, actually.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. But I do still write. I do write here and there, you know, scenes, moments, kind of short things. I have a friend who has been working on a project that they are turning into a novel. And so every now and then I've kind of become somewhat of a writing support for for that project. And I think, you know, hey, one day this might be really gorgeous to see it.
I'm in development stage for a docu-series on Barbara Van Eaton, and she is this photographer. She's in her 80s now, and she focused on females in ranching and farming.
Oh.
And she has a very interesting backstory. She was the heiress to the singer's sewing fortune, but she's a lesbian, so she was kind of cast out, and her family has this really it's like sort of a gentrifying the West history. They bought 18,000 acres in Montana, and they created one of the first dude ranches for the Rockefellers and DuPonts, and it's sort of this history through a lot of archival footage, plus her personal history in Montana.
Now we want to present our first trophy. Unexpected, right? Yes, our first trophy goes to the crew of Happy Rolls for Almost All Women's Crew. As another example of fearless women who went out and just did it, we'd like to honor our Almost All Women crew of Happy Rolls. At our last LoFi meeting, our guest Regina Gordon, who was a first and second AD for over 30 years, said that even though times are changing, historically crews were all male because they didn't think women were strong enough to handle the equipment. But nowadays, there are more and more female crews. Let's see what the experience was for the crew of Happy Rolls.
It was a kind of mixed between most of our friends were females, and this idea of pushing for a female crew kind of came together coherently. We had a great writer and cinematographer at our hand's length, as well as an editor, a first AD. It worked out really well that most of the people that we wanted were the best that fit for that position. And that really worked to our favor.
The whole experience was really cool because this was the first entire short film that I had been like the sole editor for. And then to be working with friends the whole time was amazing. So yeah, I had a great time.
I wrote the script simply so I could DP, but also wholeheartedly along the way, I learned that working with all my friends actually made the set even better. I felt like it was a definition of what the teachers say, in a sense of like definitely work with a crew of who you want to be around with. As a female, working with a bunch of other females, but also like males as well. I would say like it turned out pretty good, and I really do like, I definitely want to say Saddleback did teach that, in a sense of like definitely work with who you want to work with.
I couldn't ask for a better dynamic. I mean, Tan and I were running around trying to get shots, and it was awesome. I think like there were times where people would get very stressed and anxious, but that's just a part of set life, and we were able to work out a lot of problems just because of the Saddleback like relationship that we've had before. I think it's just to push through and amongst all these problems and work it out. And the fact that we had such a great crew that was very understanding and willing to work through anything, I think that's what made the film so easy to get through.
It's my first ever being a DP, director of photography. I definitely had very supportive crew members. Even before Ashley and I just teamed up for this, we were like friends before. So when we came into this position and this project, it came up in a sense of like 50% of the time is not us trying to like make it like a it was fun, but the other 50% was definitely like, oh no, we have to get back on focus and then the main track and not try to divulge into two different ways, because that's another thing about working with friends. Sometimes we have our moments where it's like, oh, we kind of get distracted and just go off things, but then we always catch each other like, oh wait, with our great first AD, we always get back on track. So if I have to say there's a difference, it's that we keep each other in check, but also understand the concept of being like having it a fun set and actually enjoying each other's presence.
And something I've definitely experienced is that a lot of times as a woman, it can be hard to like speak up and make your voice heard in a room full of people, and it can be very intimidating too. I think because it always feels like the person with the loudest voice has the best idea, which is often not true. I think my advice would be to just stick to your guns and make your voice heard, because I think you have a voice that people want to hear. Even if you present an idea that's not that great, that the whole artistic process is about getting better and like learning from your mistakes, especially in film one. So don't be afraid to fall, and because you will get better and you have something important to say. So please say it.
I'm a very timid and shy person naturally, so it was very hard for me, but I can come out of my shell once I'm comfortable, and the people in film one made me feel very comfortable on top of the professors and the staff. But to anyone that really wants to direct, I mean, I never really proactively chose a position, and that was totally on me. I think that's something that I kind of regret about my film one experience is go out there and just take the chance and take the risk. The worst that will happen is that you go back and you take you learn a lesson. There's so many opportunities to grow and learn, even just in the classroom, even plenty of opportunities outside too. So I would just say push yourself to get out of that shell and be your best advocate. Because from now on, that's all you're ever going to be, and you need to be that. You need to rely on yourself on top of your friends, but you need to be your best advocate to make it. And I think that's the most important thing, and something that I've kind of learned through my experience and wish I knew sooner. So, yeah.
I got lucky enough to trust my instincts of talking to one or two individuals, and those one or two individuals slowly encouraged me. So if for anything, if you're really shy or you have any doubts, definitely just talk to someone who you trust among your classmates, and really try to like build a community within you guys, and really try to like see how far you can get, but also realize that some opportunities you have to create for yourself, and it's better to do it now than later, because at least now we can think of ourselves in a sense of like, if we make a mistake, we learn from it, but we don't really have that excuse if 10 years down the line, we keep on making the same mistakes. So if I have to say anything, it's do it now, make a mistake, which is fine, you will learn from it, but also believe in yourself, and also really do listen to the people around you, and definitely create that community.
Congratulations to the crew of Happy Rolls. Now, it is time to introduce our submitted projects. We will be showing highlighted reels for each category. If you'd like to see the full-length version, you can find it on the Ladies of Film YouTube channel. You can find the link in the description below. Our first category is Best Audio Project. The nominees in this category are from our audio production, radio production, and voice-over production classes. Audio storytelling brings the stories to life with voice talent and engineering skill. All our nominees have this talent, so let's hear some highlights from the nominated projects. 皆さんこんにちは、Danielaです. That's Japanese for hello everyone, I'm Daniela, but I actually have another partner with me. Say your name.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and today we are going to be testing each other on the languages that we're learning.
Right here on KCSN 88.5. I'm Jolie here with Kristen and our producer John Carlo in the studio, and we're feeling pretty happy about the latest updates about the happiest place on earth.
So yes, if you haven't heard yet, Disneyland is set to supposedly reopen April 30th.
Teachers have always been the under-recognized heroes of our communities. They dedicate their lives to fostering the well-being and growth of their students, helping them deepen their self-confidence and develop lifelong skills. And even when the world turns upside down, they can drastically adapt their bustling in-person classes to virtual classrooms overnight.
Hi, my name is Jared Alexander.
Jared, my little brother.
20 years old.
And he is a
second year varsity student majoring in quantitative biology and applied statistics at the University of Cape Town.
And for him, university was the beginning of the end of a long struggle with drug and alcohol use.
Ho, 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 ho.
Happy holidays! This is your favorite radio station, bringing you Santa's favorite playlist.
Santa's coming to town! Oh my God!
This is Saddleback Radio's Jazz 88.5.
The wind is a horse. Hear how he runs. Through the sea, through the sky. He wants to take me. Listen. How he roves the world. To take me far away.
The American Civil War ended over a century ago, yet it still holds a fascination for people of all ages. From literature to film and TV and even video games, the Civil War lives on in our imaginations.
Welcome to Ruminate, a podcast dedicated to diving deep into matters like identity, sexuality, and womanhood, to name a few. I'm your host, Susan Adalat, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, Mary Castillo, a great friend of mine and a rising YouTuber whose channel, Plant-Based Sweetheart, focuses on creating unique plant-based recipes, lifestyle videos, and discussions around health, especially plus-size women's issues.
Our next category is script writing. Without a script, there is no story. Alfred Hitchcock said, "To make a great film, you need three things: the script, the script, and the script. And here are our nominees.
Con ngoan, cô má siêng làm bài.
Just one more page and then I'm finished with homework.
Con đừng có chơi với này nữa.
But Mom,
Con nên học hành.
But Mom,
We literally just need one person. Okay, okay, move.
Ew.
Wait, isn't that the kid who does roids?
Yeah.
Isn't he in 6th grade?
I hate this school. I don't even know what to tell you.
God.
Oh, God. No, they're sensitive right now.
Ew!
I should have known. Like, if you weren't gonna like me my senior year, what makes you think you're gonna like me now? And I was just so stupid and so naive to think that he would even like me. And like, for him to end up telling me it was the idea of being in a relationship with me instead of actually liking me for 2 months, I can't tell you how bad that fucking hurts.
I want to propose to her.
No doubt she's gonna say yes. You two are the perfect couple.
I love her so much, I don't know what I would do without her.
You're whipped, my friend.
Shut up, Harrison. I'm gladly whipped. I think I'm gonna fly over and surprise her.
She would love that.
Can you come with me to help?
Layla?
No, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. You just look like someone I know. Sorry.
Can I ask you something? Do you think it's normal I'm sexually attracted to sea slugs?
It's Catherine, not Kathy. Never call me Kathy. I run the office with fucking Tracy. I hate that guy. Don't talk to him. And don't tell him I said anything. But Timmy did tell me that Tracy wears a diaper to work now because last week.
And it's moving in on us fast now. Events are accelerating. Very fast. And we see all over the world many of the old traditions and the old things that people believed in crumbling and shaking throughout the world. And we ask ourselves, is there any hope? A London editorial said the other day, Western civilization is committed to
Our next category is editing. Editors craft and hone the heart of a story. Francis Ford Coppola said, "The essence of cinema is editing." Let's see how our nominees piece together these stories. next category is production design. Production design makes the world of the story come to life. Many of our alumni are working in art direction, production design, and set dressing. Let's see what worlds our nominees created. Our next category is acting demo reels. To act is to do. Actors bring characters to life by living truthfully in imaginary circumstances. And here are our nominees.
I want to stay protected. It's like I'm torn. Anytime I have ever taken any risk,
I wonder to myself, would I actually feel this invigorated if I had let some college kid violate me in his cockroach-infested dorm room? Probably not. Ironically, we were studying the Scarlet Letter. But isn't that always the way with these teenage tales?
I went by the bar the other night to see you, and I know, before you say anything, I know I ran out so fast, and I wanted to say that I think that you're sort of comically great, and it all seemed so promising, you know?
I hate the way you're always right. I hate it when you lie. I hate it when you make me laugh. Even worse when you make me cry. I hate the way you're not around, and the fact that you didn't call. But mostly I hate the way I don't hate you. Not even close.
When I woke up and went on what the movie advertisements referred to as a roaring rampage of revenge, I roared and I rampaged, and I got bloody satisfaction. I've killed a hell of a lot of people to get to this point, but I've only one more, the last one.
Some people say I'm an overachiever, but I think people are just jealous. My mom tells me I'm special. And if you look at all the things I've done, I think you just have to agree.
I'll tell you the truth. About tonight and Jake, I did want to go to Frank Todman's. Only I don't fit in with your classy friends like she would. What do you think? I don't know. I mean, all I am is what I am, but I'm not her.
You think I'm crazier than you.
Because, well, we're different.
Oh my God. killing me. You know what? Figured I ever offered to help.
Couldn't find out much from the autopsy because Coyotes had at her pretty good. And I've been killing those sons of bitches ever since.
You can be in a lot of trouble without me. I'm not gonna leave you. That wouldn't be right. I won't leave you. Okay?
How you doing?
Sweating like a pig, actually. And yourself?
That's a way to get a guy's attention.
My mission in life. Obviously, you're interested, so you see it worked. The world makes sense again.
So pick you up Friday then.
All right, Friday.
I've lured you out of your home. You've been stung, and by now you realize you're in a really messed up situation. We are still in your home.
We were living out of a car once. Uncle Nick had kicked us out. We couldn't find anyone else who'd take us in. Lip and Ian and me were sleeping in the back seat when Frank pulled over.
You don't have much time. You did it. You didn't, Hetty, did you? You couldn't have him. Why? Why?
Now, I wouldn't presume to speak for the Cardinal, but you got a lot of people here who respect you, Robbie. Respect your work.
Good to know.
It's because you care about this place.
One day we're gonna have kids, John, and let me tell you, you can't blink. For 18 years. Not once.
Okay. Well, in high school, there was Marcus.
Quarterback / homecoming king.
He was a rower, very hot.
Okay, what happened to Marcus?
He works for the Republican Party now.
I want John Cusack holding a boombox outside my window. I want to ride off on a lawnmower with Patrick Dempsey. I want Jake from 16 Candles waiting outside the church for me.
Because it was my project, and I insisted. I insisted on everything. I insisted we weren't lost.
Do I have a God complex? Which makes me wonder if this lawyer has any idea as to the kind of grades one has to receive in college to be accepted at a top medical school.
Our next category is cinematography. Cinematography is writing with light in movement. It is a different language, where the visuals convey all the emotion and history of story. Let's see the visual articulation of the story by our nominees. next category is video journalism. The way we see the world is influenced by video journalists. They document social and political issues and can be a powerful tool for good or bad. With great power comes great responsibility. Let's see how our nominees used their superpower.
Why they took on the enormous task of construction.
We'll hand out over 21 million pounds of food this year, but we also know that it's not nearly enough.
In fact, 1 out of every 5 people in Orange County are food insecure, meaning that every day is a struggle to find a meal. To encourage more enthusiasm and community involvement, Construction added a design competition element to the event in 1993. We spoke to
professional dancers who were once elated with performances after performances, competition after competition, are now idle and searching for even a sliver of opportunity.
As an artist, it's like not in our element to like be virtual because
city officials and workers have provided temporary housing solutions in various motels and shelters. Some of the homeless have taken residence along San Juan Creek and San Juan Capistrano. We met with the private contractor who works with the city in that area to see what is currently being done for the homeless population.
Of masks is still under debate. Multiple studies have been published by the CDC and various universities. This article, published by the CDC in October of this year, maintains that the filtration effectiveness of cloth masks is generally lower than that of medical masks like N95s.
Peter and the Starcatcher was adapted to the stage in 2009 by playwright Rick Elise after the book was published in 2004. The story boasts a hilariously funny script while also peppering in a few valuable lessons for the kids in the audience.
This October, the Legend of Boot Hill Haunted House is entering its 19th year of operation. The free admission, free parking attraction is a great community event that draws in people from all different walks of life. It also donates all of the funds raised to the Children's Hospital of Orange County.
Unfortunately, I got COVID, but fortunately, I'm asymptomatic, so I don't have any symptoms to worry about. For the past week or so, I haven't been able to go out and get food, so I ordered DoorDash, or I just make myself some food at home, but I got California Pizza Kitchen today.
Directing is our next category. Directors need to have superpowers. Directing requires living with no sleep, no food, and no time at home. Directors are the cinematic auteur of the story. Let's take a look at our directing superheroes.
Place his head upon your head. Sit on the northeast corner of the bed. Close your eyes and count to 3. Imagine all that you want to be.
What do you think of when you look at all those stars?
Well, when I was in Paris, we went to this thing called the catacombs, and there were like 1 million bones all throughout these tunnels. They moved them there after they built condos or something on the graveyards.
It hurts to look back on all the memories of like everything we did. It hurts me because it felt real to me. Every bit of it just felt completely real. But for him, it wasn't. It was easy for him to walk out of my life, just like how everyone else walks out of my life. And
Jenny, cái gì đây? Bộ con tử cuốn hả? Mẹ con nấu spaghetti cho ngày mai.
Just finishing up some work. I'm almost done though.
Hard day?
Nah, just tedious.
I'm sorry to hear that. Care for a pick-me-up? I still owe you for the other night.
Yeah, and what exactly do you owe me?
I don't know. Tit for tat?
Is that literal?
If you're paying for my next tat, then maybe.
Hey, do you know what?
I can't find the textbook.
Wait, what?
I tried looking everywhere. What do we do?
Have you tried nozama.ma?
Uh-huh.
Stayalux.
Yep.
Check.com.
I'm telling you, I can't find it anywhere.
What if we tried the public library?
Today we have the pleasure and honor of having one of Las Aguilar's descendants among us. He is here to share with us another part of Orange County's ancient history, a history often neglected in books. Domingo Velardes, following in the footsteps of his great father, David Velardes, has dedicated his life to keeping Acachiman and Juaneño history and culture alive.
Bro, I'm like hooked on this chick, man. It was like, you know, never mind.
What?
I don't know, like love at first sight or something.
I hope you enjoy it, wherever you are. I'm sorry that I wasn't actually able to be at the hospital, but maybe it was for the best. I mean, I wasn't there or anything, but I heard you were all like...
Hey! Sorry, I just thought I was alone, and then I saw you and you seemed to be having a problem, so I got nervous. And I just wanted to make sure you didn't think I was watching you, and I just wanted to make sure that you weren't watching me. What's that? Wait, you guys are so cute. Is this why you were freaking out?
I wasn't freaking out.
Our next category is television production. Television is a huge part of our lives. Live television can speak to the audience in real time. There are a lot of jobs for women in television production. When completing our program, many of our graduates go into the television industry. YouTube is TV's younger brother, and on that note, don't forget that you can view these projects in their entirety by going to the link in the description below. Here are the nominees.
When I got to my friend's doorsteps with the paintings, I dropped it off at the doorstep, and then I walked more than 6 feet away and then called them to come outside.
Oh, you
When it comes to designing a piece, depending on the item of choice or preference, it can take several weeks, though time can vary depending on the item requested. Potters must take into account any mishaps.
It was already hitting hard countries like Italy and Spain. So this country had the chance to prepare, and they knew what was coming, and they were able to go into a hard lockdown.
Nobody was allowed to step out of their houses. There were certain containment zones. We weren't allowed to order online also.
Kaylee tells me how she focuses on the concept that this is only temporary and uses strategies to manage the extra time on her hands. Kaylee, like everyone else this past year, has had to think of new and COVID-friendly ways to entertain herself and help cope with the stress of the pandemic. Things like gaming and talking with her friends over Discord.
So I was thinking we can do a version of our own if that's totally cool.
Yeah, I'm so down.
Okay.
Does the word have to be in the title of the song or just in general in the song?
In general in the song, it doesn't have to be the title. Okay, your first word is sky.
Our next category is documentary. Documentaries have the opportunity to investigate our daily lives in a deeper way. They examine issues with a distinctive point of view. Documentaries shine a light on stories about social justice, history, phenomenon, and reinvention. Here are the nominees.
Now I find that our numbers have dwindled because people have walked away because there isn't going to be that check at the end of the rainbow every month from federal recognition. There isn't going to be a casino, not that I was ever pro-casino. But we've had time, like I said, to take a breather and to really look at who we are.
A lot of the field researchers, they've got their limited amount of time, and they get out, and if they don't see much, then they give up for another weekend. And Shelley's out here come hell or high water, you know, and working and doing it. So, to my knowledge, she's the best field researcher that I know.
So first of all, when I lost everything, I lost a huge paycheck to go with that. it made it difficult to really explore a lot of different things. And that's when I decided it doesn't matter what I do. I'll go back and teach fitness. I actually have a pet care business. And I work really hard. I probably work harder now than I ever did.
And the last category of the night is a narrative short. The art of telling a story is amazing, but what's even more amazing is telling it in 8 to 12 minutes. No matter what the subject, creative collaboration is essential. Let's take a look at our narrative shorts.
I don't really talk to a lot of people, just break into their houses.
Houses tell me a lot more about a person than talking to them ever could.
I'm Amelia, the head of HR. It's hectic around here. Don't tell anyone, but some of the employees suck at their jobs. Not that I don't like them, it's just they suck at their job. I don't like firing people either, so, I don't want them to feel personally attacked.
And that's one thing I'd say that this little girl and I still have in common. We both still enjoy creating. She was way more optimistic about it though, and I think that's because people would always tell her how wonderful her creations were. But as she grew up, less people did that, and once she decided to take creating things seriously, it wasn't allowed.
You're really going away?
Well, it's no Yale, but UCLA will do.
I'm really going to miss...
I know you sabotaged my college admissions.
Wait,
How? You forgot a letter.
Hey!
So, you did still go on a date with Brad, right?
Yes, I did.
Prediction. We're gonna score on this drive, as I will tonight.
Oh, yeah. Hey, this time, try to get some pictures that are actually in focus.
Oh, no, leave it open.
Okay, sorry. This is so cool. Have you really been to all these places?
Most of them. The white ones are where I have been, and the red are where I want to go.
You're a good person. Please tell me it's not true.
Harry,
Is it true?
Harry, things are complicated.
Harper, why? He loves you. You're better than this.
Harrison, I love you, but you do not get to grill me for my personal life.
Dominique?
Why wasn't the gun loaded, Mike?
Wow, okay then. I really hope there are normal people on here. Hi, I'm Mav. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Marissa.
Nice to meet you. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm 20.
You're a little shy. That's okay. I'll go first. I'm 21. I work for my dad full time. And I love music. I'm definitely excited for shows to come back.
And then Remy, oh, he was just the icing on the cake. Like, when is someone gonna walk in my life and be like, this person is real and pure? Because that's what I am. All my intentions are real and with love.
Hi, Beth. I know this is weird, but I see Mom doing this before she goes to bed. I miss you. How's it in heaven with Grandma and Grandpa? It's been really hard lately here without you.
Okay, I know what you're thinking, but no, we don't need them. You wanted 3 and now we have 4. It's gonna throw off the whole dynamic. Okay, like, use your 2 brain cells for 1 second and realize what we could have here. We could be TikTok famous. Okay, yeah, but don't you want to do that yourself? No, I don't. I just want to be famous. Okay? Okay. Are you sure you want to join this group?
Now you have seen all the nominees. We have our finalists on Zoom for a Q&A session. Please do not hesitate to participate in our conversation. You can leave your questions right now in the comments. So, I guess the first person I'll ask is Ashley Devine. Since you had to deal with the limitations of using a location that cannot be taken apart to accommodate for the camera, what kinds of choices did you have to make for blocking the camera and actors? How was it directing a bilingual film?
So for the blocking, it was a little difficult because we're in a house, an apartment specifically. So we were a little limited, and it did require a little bit of moving around a heavy couch. And honestly, like before we started filming, even with the production design, luckily it was very minimalistic. And that we didn't have to deal with any issues for that, luckily. But I think our biggest issue was that couch in the middle, which you don't really see often. But apart from that, what really helped is that me and Tan would stay like the night before each shoot and stay after each shooting day, and we'd go through every single
around a heavy couch.
And honestly, that was really helpful.
Like before we started
as far as directing a bilingual film, that was very difficult and very scary. But I felt very supported by my producers and by my DP/scriptwriter. I felt like I had all the support that I needed to really create a film that felt like it said something and wasn't crossing a line that I wasn't aware of. So I felt very supported and very, very happy to have been able to give that opportunity. So I owe a lot to my producers and my screenwriter/DP.
Awesome. I loved your answer. Thank you for talking. So now my next question, it's for Tan. So Tan, you wrote the script for Happy Rolls. Since film is mostly a visual medium, you must have to cut off some of the dialogue. Was there anything that was cut that you really wanted to keep in? And I'm also curious, how many rice paper sheets did you end up using while making this project? And what kind of qualities were you looking for while recruiting your casting crew?
So for the first, hopefully you guys can hear me, hopefully. Yeah. So for the first question, okay, good. So for the first question, the things I had to cut from the quote unquote short, I think it wasn't really mostly cutting or dialoguing. It's just mostly like using the, just changing up for basically the layout of the house. So the apartment space. I didn't have any hard times, quote unquote, figuring it out. Actually, no, I do. The scene where it was on the staircase, I do believe was the hardest for me due to the fact that the space was actually smaller than we thought it was. So as a DP slash screenwriter for that particular scene, I had to readjust the fact that it was the mother who actually sits at the top of the staircase rather than in the script, she is listening on her daughter. So that was adjusted. How many rice papers that I had to adjust? Let's just say, like, we used 5, but then we made many mistakes along the way. Towards the end, we only had like 2 left, and we were like, okay, we're gonna do a 1 take for this.
Awesome.
And was there another question? I somewhat forgot.
I think I just asked all of them at once, and I apologize for that. I'll pace it better. What kind of qualities were you looking for while recruiting your cast and crew? Because I noticed that like a lot of the people on your crew were really talented.
So thank you so much, and thank you to the crew, guys, if you guys are watching. The qualities that I had to look for was basically if they have patience and kind of that team player mentality. Like everyone that was on set, everyone knew each other or had acquaintance of each other, and really had that personality of just being like melding to each other's personality trait and just basically like working with really easily. I didn't have a hard time communicating what I wanted, and they all understood what I wanted as a DP. So that's for me.
That's really cool. Like knowing people and, you know, deciding to team up together and make something really cool. That's awesome. Thank you for answering. Now, my next question is for Kimberly Page. Kimberly, your project, The Hat, was such a unique concept. How did you come up with the initial idea?
Well, that's a great question. We were charged with in class to come up with a story in a place that we could film it. I had to do everything by myself. So I sat around my house thinking, what kind of story could I create that I have to act in it, direct it, write it, film it? I did that entire film by myself, which is one of the hardest things I've ever done. So what's funny is I had just purchased that hat, and I was looking at it and I thought, oh, hat, magic. And it kind of took me back to that time where Frosty had his magic hat. I thought, how could I tell a story that incorporates kind of the loneliness of being in quarantine and how that kind of makes you feel, and especially as an older woman. And I thought, you know, this might be kind of a fun concept to pursue. And I love magic, so I thought it would be fun.
Wow. I actually have another question for Unlikely Path. What were you initially, let me rephrase. Were you initially planning on filming something slightly different when you first started working on your documentary, Unlikely Path?
On the documentary, absolutely. And I remember we were told that in documentaries, you could start out making one film and in the end, it could be completely different. And it actually was, so much so that I edited 2 completely different versions of that film. It's amazing what you learn, that you can take the same clips, the same film, everything that you shot, and actually make a different film out of it. Yeah. That was one of probably the biggest lessons I learned on that. Yeah, so completely different.
Thank you, Kimberly. That was really insightful. Now, my next question is for Mona. So, for Stars and Skulls, how were you able to organize filming and directing your actors and crew at night?
I'm a big fan of pre-production, so I put a lot of planning into it, and planned out, besides just the shot list and the logistics. I just wanted everything to be just right. So, went out to the location and scouted it out and tried to understand, all the logistics. And got it together. It was a Film 2 project, so had a really good group of students that I was working with, and yeah.
And I have a second question for you, actually.
Okay.
Are you more familiar with being an actor or director? What do you enjoy more?
Oh, well, those 2 different questions. Familiarity and enjoyment.
That's true.
I love them both somewhat equally. I fell in love with acting in 8th grade, so it's always been a big part of my life, but I never really did it professionally, but it was just a big part of my identity and who I was, and I love getting lost in the world of acting and being able to, assume different characters and personalities and psychologies. And I think being an actress or knowing how to act or being in that, realm of assuming the personality or kind of being able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, and also being an empath, of course, I think it really informs my ability to be a director. So I also fell in love with directing in high school. It was the first time I was given a project to direct, and I loved being able to just take an idea or take a dialogue and then run away with it and breathe life into it. And my brain goes off in so many different directions and so many different details, and it just comes to life in my mind, kind of like I imagine how it might come to a composer's mind, all the intricacies and parts of the symphony. So I don't know, I have an equal passion for both, but directing is definitely my path and something I've always wanted to do.
Thank you, Mona. Now, my next question here is for Monica. So you played a lot of parts in this project for Open Mind. How did you manage to film such a vulnerable topic like this? And how did you talk to your actors about this?
Well, I thought a lot about it first. In Pulse, I went and I showed the project and talked to the class first. I pitched the project, and actually a lot of people got really interested in the topic. It's something that I was very interested about it at the time, was about bath salts and the things what's happening with people with smoking bath salts. And I put it there also some of my fears, that was dating online and, the unknown and doing things without knowing the consequences, And so I present the script, and then they got interested. I said, okay, let's do it. And was 3 very intense days, and we had to have a closed set for some of the scenes, and that was a great experience for myself as well. That's how I did it.
Yeah. And well, you kind of answered the next question I was going to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyways. You took on a lot of responsibilities for this project. How were you able to keep track of everything?
My mind also goes everywhere, and I see the project in my mind before it was done. We had some challenges, like in the stabbing part. We had a pig belly, and we are trying to do the effects with, and we just did it. We just, okay, if something didn't work, we go for the next thing in mind, and was really neat because I had an amazing crew. I had 32 people in my apartment shooting this movie, and every one of my crew members was an amazing crew member, and they all students from Saddleback and all my friends. And we did it, and everybody was super respectful of the subject. And we are trying to send a message out there that things happen, and your actions can cause a reaction, and something really bad can happen.
Very, very true. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, my next question is for Sammy Goyo. Your paintings were really cute. How long did the whole process of making the TV project take you? Planning, filming, and editing wise?
It took me a couple of weeks. So the paintings, I like sat down for like a solid 16 hours and just did all of them at once. And then over the next couple of days, I went out to go deliver them to my friends and like worked out their schedules and stuff like that. Editing, when I start editing, I just like go nonstop. I'm in the zone and I won't stop. So editing, I did probably in about a day, just because I am just like that. Like I get in that zone and I can't stop. But then I did like rechecks and stuff like that. So I think the whole process took probably about like a week and a half.
Wow, that's amazing. Like all that effort, just concentrated, focused. How did you feel after it was all done?
I felt really good. I think this is just like, I was really stressed out when like COVID first began because I just didn't know what I could create or if I could create. So just to be able to like create just like even paintings and then incorporate film into it just felt really good because I had a lot of fun with it. This was just something that like I thought was really personal and really fun and really lighthearted, especially during a time where everything was really dark and sad. Like this just felt kind of nice to do.
Yeah, that was awesome. So thank you for answering my question. My next question is for Cynthia. So I watched what you put in. When you inserted, I'm talking about the film where you're talking about the textbook with the Arabic numerals.
Oh, the Zoom one, yeah,
that one. Because you had a lot of projects here. I enjoyed all of them.
I might have like overachieved a bit there.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of overachievers at Saddleback. We love it. When you inserted the jokes and the visual comedy, were the ideas for the jokes instinctive, or was there some like meticulous planning going on? Or like, you know what, forgive me if my question is close-ended. Answer however you want.
It's great. No, I love your question. So I guess, for anyone that didn't watch it, there's one particular short film that I made, which is called Star Test, which basically goes into the story of Alex, a college student who has to pay for expensive textbooks. And the key trick I have whenever I write scripts for any video is that I always take my scripts, I print it out, it's all fresh and clean. I give them to my siblings, and I have them read it, and if they laugh, it's good. Even if it's the most sad, depressing story ever, if they laugh, it's fine. And a lot of the jokes that actually occurred from that particular short film was actually just made on the spot. There's one particular moment within the film. I don't know if this is like it's toilet humor. It's too a little bit understatement. But there's one moment where I'm in the bathroom scene and we choreographed it. So like as I put down my own Chromebook, there was the reveal of someone on the toilet behind me. And I had that idea because my sister just said, wouldn't it be funny if I was just on the toilet in the background? And we went with it. It took 40 takes though, but I think it all worked well in the end.
I mean, it was worth it because I thought that was hilarious. That was funny.
Thank you. My dad, however, was not happy that we took up, 2 hours in the bathroom. He was very annoyed at us.
Oh, man. That's funny. Man, I enjoy watching your shorts. Well, thank you for answering. Now, the next person I'm going to ask is actually here at the studio. So let's all welcome Cyril.
Hey,
This is cool. Cool. Okay, well, here's my first question. So, what was your editing workflow experience for Juanenyo?
Oh my gosh, editing workflow. I actually wanted to do editing. I did editing in paper first. So because we shot all the footage together, so I was familiar with what we're trying to do. Everything has been planned beforehand, so I pretty much had pieces of paper, editing via paper, before actually going to our editing studio over here. So I had an idea of what I wanted to do, like the flow, but it helped so much that I actually took the time to write down and put together. Like, you know how those, whenever you have like murder mysteries going on, and you see this bulletin board of everything that you're trying to plan. So I kind of had that set up before transferring to the actual computer.
Yeah, well, that preparation, it turned out really awesome. And then my next question is, were there any parts you really liked that did not end up in the final cut?
Oh, yes. There's a lot of stuff. We've been planning to actually edit a full feature on that, because when we went digging for, for past newspapers feature, I keep forgetting which president was it, but there was a letter from a particular president addressing the Huaneño tribe.
Whoa.
So that part, I just didn't have the, the time and the flow to insert it, and I wanted to, make it be part of the story and not just randomly throw it in. So that's something to look forward to once we edit for a full feature.
Oh, I am looking forward to it. And I have one last question. What kind of elements in the story did you want to prioritize while editing?
For me, it has to be the emotions, because it's a documentary. These are real people, and we have them sharing their stories with us. So ultimately, I wanted to, showcase their history and currently what's happening to them.
Well, thank you for coming on here. This is so cool that I actually get to talk to somebody in person. Thank you so much for coming
I'll
here.
be back then in the control room.
Yeah, thank you.
See you later.
Bye. It was a pleasure having you here in person. Now, after all that, it is time to announce our winners. Are you excited? Probably, because I really am. Okay, so the finalists for the best audio project are
Sharon McCaig, who teaches Foods, which is a modernized version of home economics at Rancho Santa Margarita Intermediate School, is one of the many teachers who transformed her hands-on class into a virtual course for an indefinite amount of time last March.
And even at that time, I thought, okay, this will be a month or a few weeks. We'll be back for sure by end of May, June, have our 8th grade graduation and everything. So, we were I feel like so naive every step of the way, and then even then it was like, oh, we'll be back in the fall. It'll be fine. So just been surprised every step of the way.
I remember when I was 20 years old. I was in my 2nd year at university. Because I had quite a protective upbringing, it was a time of great discovery and growth for me. I enjoyed what I was studying, and I worked hard, but a whole new world was opening up to me. I reveled in my youthfulness, hanging out with friends, challenging social norms, drinking, and occasionally smoking marijuana.
And the winner is, for Best Audio Project, is Ilke Alexander for My Brother and His Journey of Recovery. Since the person isn't here, we're just going to move on to the next subject. Now, the finalists for Best Script Writing are
It's me. You're not answering my calls. I'm worried about you. Call me back.
winner is Fan No for Happy Rolls. Congratulations. Would you like to say something? An acceptance speech? Oh, you were on mute, I believe. So thank you for that. The finalists for the best editing are... And the winner for the best editing is Cynthia Nguyen for Star Test.
Did she not hear it?
Congratulations. Would you like to say something about the editing process?
The editing process, let's see. Whoa, where do I start? Am I supposed to give out to a shout out to like Adobe Premiere Pro? I guess shout out to Adobe for making me pay $20 a month for letting me use their software. And thank you, Adobe. This is not sponsored, but other than that, I guess I wanted to thank, my family, my siblings for, bearing with me to acting through those 40 takes, and especially to, the faculty at Saddleback, especially my teacher, Tomlinson, who actually gave me the assignment to do a voiceover stuff. So if he didn't give me that assignment, perhaps I wouldn't be here, also complaining about high college tech, but also be here getting this award. So thank you guys for the award.
Thank you, Cynthia. Now I'm going to, we're gonna show who the finalists are for Best Production Design. And the winner for Best Production Design is Katie Winnog for Happy Rolls. Katie isn't here today. However, I am going to keep going and announce the finalists for the Best Acting Demo Reels. And here they are now.
Things are happening
the place that you ignore. The place that has, the place that has already forgotten about you.
Anyone ever said no to a drink with you, Pop?
Sure. The trick is to keep asking.
One day we're gonna have kids, John, and let me tell you, you can't blink. For 18 years.
Well, some believe that language exists in the brain at birth, and what's learned is the ability to attach words and structure to the latent ability. Because it was my project, and I insisted.
And the winner for the best acting reel is Isuda Ismailpour. So now I'm going to announce the finalists for the best cinematography, and here they are now. And the winner for Best Cinematography is Annalyn Ralston for I Am Juaneño. Congratulations. Now, the finalists for the Best Video Journalism packages are going to be
Buzz Lightyear, Jack Jack, and the Millennium Falcon. What are these can sculptures that are appearing all over Orange County this September? They are part of an international hunger relief program known as Construction.
So Construction, basically all the engineering firms, what they did was design and built all the structures, and they're at South Coast Plaza, Arctic, and John Wayne Airport.
The OC Food Bank supports the Construction volunteers by collecting the donated cans, transporting them to and from the display locations, and distributing the food to the hungry after the event.
You see the signs everywhere. Masks required. Mask up to open up. 49 out of 50 U.S. states have some form of mask mandate for part or all of their state. These mandates have created a lot of controversy and in some cases, an environment of judgment among the public.
I think it's a personal choice that people need to make, and so I think the issue is when people start accusing or looking down on somebody else.
And the Best Video Journalist Award goes to Tracy Spikerman for Mask Mandate. Congratulations. Our next category is Best Directing. Here are the finalists.
What do you think of?
I think of you.
Me?
And your crazy, stupid catacomb story.
Shut up. Come on, really.
It's actually kind of true. I dig this, but I would never come out for this on my own.
So stars make you think of me taking you to see stars?
Stuff like this is only good if you can share it.
So I read today in the textbooks about the California mountains. Miss Wilkins says that the rain is captured in the mountains and it goes into the river. girl named Susan kept on making fun of my eyes. She would slant her own eyes and say, small eyes, why can't you open up your eyes?
And the award for Best Directing goes to Mona Ibrahim for Stars and Skulls. Congratulations. So, would you like to say anything about your experience with this project?
It was basically a Film 2 project where we're given bare bones dialogue to, again, run away with it how we wanted to. So I just imagined it as a
Best TV ready, 37 seconds.
the haves and the have-nots. And so I felt a strong pull there's a couple of shots that I really, really wanted, and I actually had a little pushback on some of them. And so I really had to fight for the shots that I really wanted, and I'm glad I did, because those were my favorite parts of it. So I don't know, I just want to put that out there to really just stick to your guns as far as your vision and just persist.
Thank you, Mona. Thank you very much. Now, I'm going to announce our next category. So we're going to see the finalists for the Best TV Project.
Henry has been dealing with type 1 diabetes since she was 8 years old and has had to be extra cautious since March of 2020. Extra cautious meaning not being able to go out or be in close contact with anyone except for the people she lives with.
With so much bad going on in the world, it's been hard to stay positive through it all. Everything changed so quickly. For some of my friends, it hasn't been so easy to stay at home and adjust to this new life. So I wanted to show these people some appreciation and send them some good vibes.
And the award for the Best TV Project goes to Liz Giachetti for Living with Type 1 Diabetes and Pandemic. Our next category is the Best Documentary. Here are the finalists.
I go through the fear still, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this. I would love to do musical theater. I would love to do, and I want to discover if that's even possible for me. So that was the first class coming back to Saddleback that I took. You know, part of me didn't know what to expect, but I anticipated that I would be the oldest person in the class. And as I walked on campus, as I saw the young kids sitting in the quad, you know, chit-chatting together, and I noticed there was a clique walking into the classroom. And then to my surprise, I looked over and I saw Karen.
So like now I feel like we don't really have like gatherings anymore like we used to when we were little. Before we used to have bonfires with my grandfather. Now I always have to ask my father, oh, is this person with this group, or is it with the bad group? Is it with our group? And then even with our group, since my grandfather died, my uncle's taken over. So I feel like we don't have an identity because we're not all one together.
So anyway, so the tribal meeting, all the other thing too, is that we've been backed up a month with the federal recognition.
For us and for me, and I know for my dad, that he wasn't looking at, you know, what was this going to gain for him? He was looking at his grandkids and their grandkids.
And the award for the Best Documentary goes to Kimberly Page for An Unlikely Path. Congratulations, Kimberly. Would you like to speak on the topic of your documentary?
Well, just that you never know what can happen when you face your fears. And for an older student coming back to college and facing a variety of fears, you never know what can happen. So it's definitely been an unlikely path, but thanks to all the faculty and staff and my fellow students, I just have memories that I will cherish for a very long time.
Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you very much. Now, our last category, the Best Narrative Short. And here are the finalists.
Any interesting people?
No. The tent's taken me to Death Valley 3 times this week.
The tent's gonna do what the tent wants. I accepted that a long time ago.
People are complicated. Like, 1 minute they want one thing, and the next they've completely changed their minds.
The people were the best part. I've got a couch I can sleep in 195 countries all over the world. And Taiwan.
No way, Bert. I like that with a zip and an unzip of the tent, I'm totally gone.
I know I'll make it hurt. You're such a hazard. The fire might be what you
nice.
burn. Ignite me. Let's do this, baby, 'cause I can't resist
I like your place.
you. I can't resist you. I can't resist you. I can't resist you.
I'm gonna get some more wine. Can I get you some?
I can't
I brought a surprise for you.
And the winner for Best Narrative Short is Monica Dell'Amore for Open Mind. Congratulations, Monica. Would you like to say something about your project?
Yes, I do. I want to thank everybody from Saddleback College, all my professors, all my friends, and that made me able to do this project. And it's really hit me in my heart right now. I didn't expect that, but I thank everybody, all my friends. And like I said, you know, if you want to do something, just do it. Don't hear any negativity. Just go and try to make it happen, and it will happen. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Monica. Now, earlier, we had some technical difficulties hearing Than. So, Than, if you would like to say what you were saying earlier, we'd love to hear what you have to say.
You're still mute.
Well, thank you. Yeah, you're still muted, but you know what? I just appreciate you coming here, and what you said earlier did help too. So maybe I'll call you and you can just tell me, because I really want to hear. So I just want to thank everybody for coming here. Thank you all for being a part of this amazing event. Hopefully next spring we'll be able to be live and in person. And thanks to all of you watching. If you'd like to continue the conversation, contact us at ladiesofilm@gmail.com. I'd like to thank our esteemed participants for their talent and vision. I'd like to thank Saddleback College, President Elliot Stern, Scott Farthing, Dean of the Division of Fine Arts and Media Technology, and Hiro Konishi, Chair of the Cinema, Television, and Radio Department, and its faculty and staff. A special thanks to UASG and Panavision for their support. And to all artists everywhere, keep telling your stories. Good night, everyone.